Government failing to address sorcery issues. Demand for immigration services. Food donation for Pomgen. Good evening, this is Sunday's news. We begin with tragic news that happened in the early hours of this morning. A St. John ambulance crew was attacked along Gaira village in Central Province when it was responding to a distress call from a 20-year-old female in labor. A group of armed men pursued the ambulance in high speed in a blue and red high-speed PMV bus. The ambulance crew initiated the distress call button and took refuge at Kwikila police station. St. John CEO Matt Cannon said this type of delay due to the attack could cause tragic consequences for the patient and her unborn baby. He said such attack on ambulance officers who risk their own lives to save another life is uncalled for. Karukuhiri MP Peter Isoaimo says if youth's concerns are not addressed, law and order will spiral out of control. Isoaimo said all levels of government must work with churches to engage the huge youth population at the community level. He made his statement while presenting support to the St. Paul Parish Church during a week-long program for youths.
As leaders in our respective...
Speaking on a recent trip to Mekeo, the Karukuhiri MP said the youth population has increased threefold. He said crime and other law and order issues are mounting because of poor government intervention. Isoaimo believes levels of government must do something.
You know, really are a time bomb in this country. If government doesn't address youth issues with due care, we are bound to have more and more law and order issues, as we see today nationwide.
He was speaking during the presentation of support to youth programs in the West Mekeo area. The program included sporting activities and Battle of the Band. A program coordinator says the program hopes to identify talent and shape youth leaders.
And so we want to show them the real meaning of life and the value of life, and to have respect for each other and to become good, simple citizens and leaders in their community. That's the purpose of this, and the value is to create a value of learning new things.
The local MP says many youth have been left out, resulting in them doing wrong things in life. His major concern was the consumption of homebrewed alcohol and the use of illicit drugs.
You know, youths don't even know the content of alcohol. Some are even drinking up to 200% in alcohol content because it's brewed outside, it's not even gauged or measured, and it's dangerous for their health.
Speaking on other concerns, the Karukuhiri MP said road programs remain high on his agenda. He says though focus is to roll out the Connect PNG policy, current roads in the district must be maintained.
But firstly, let's maintain the existing highways, because people need to travel in good roads to sell their produce in Port Moresby markets. So we're not asking for too much. We're only asking for a fair share of road funds in order for that portion of the road to be maintained.
Jack Lopava Jr., National EMTV News.
Prime Minister James Marape, in his recent visit to the Southern Highlands province, has directed the Provincial Education Advisor to revive the Provincial Flexible Open Distance Education, or FODE. Marape emphasized the need for youths in the country to take up second chance education through FODE and upgrade their marks to further their education.
The Prime Minister wants to see all FODE centres in PNG revived and running so that those who were dropped out of school due to space limitations at the secondary and tertiary level can upgrade their marks. Marape is urging all provincial education advisors to coordinate with the FODE centres and secondary schools to influence students to give their best in upgrading their marks and continue their education.
All Guantanamo High School campus, you must come up, agent distributing food materials. You teacher, you stop nothing here. Term holiday or weekends, you running fourth class. decimal grade 9 can, 10 can, 11 can, 12 can.
For places such as Southern Highlands province, reports have showed huge number of student dropouts and unemployment due to various reasons, such as election-related and sorcery-related violence. Prime Minister James Marape, through the national government, has presented 2 million kina to the Provincial Education Division to revive food in the province. He encouraged youths to leave drug and homebrew and take up second chance education to better their lives.
You go back, Brooklyn, one on house blue today, and taking back second chance education through food. Now, me currently 2 million blong antab food center. Me put in this plan. Na milagi this la food center come up coordination na distribution blog all yambla pikini na make him second chance education come back to life in Southern Highlands and into the future. Southern Highlands can be a place to be where visitors outside, business outside, or the business inside can grow, and our place but grow na bigla.
In addition, another 2 million kina was given to Mandy School of Nursing to renovate the school infrastructure after being hit by a 7.5 magnitude earthquake in 2018. Marape said such education institutions need to bring Mandy to its glory days, as well as educating and changing the mindsets of the Southern Highlands people.
Me like Provincial Education Director, you get up and get food in a big way in Southern Highlands right across our country. All Yambla stop nothing here, I'm only no off card, all no useless. I'm only get somewhere to no stop.
Vasanata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Increased business investment in the Highlands region has resulted in high demand for immigration services in the region, with an influx of workers from overseas engaged at various project sites. Also, the number of local people from the area wanting to have their passport or visa documents processed is on the rise, despite the COVID-19 pandemic. The new Highlands Regional Immigration Office, opened last Friday in Mount Hagen, is aimed at meeting this demand and saving the cost for people to travel to Port Moresby for immigration-related services.
Officially,
the new immigration office is located in the business hub of Mount Hagen City inside Tininga Business Centre, where other key state agencies and popular retail shops are also located. It was opened last Friday, being upgraded to regional status compared to the previous provincial immigration office. It is aimed at serving the entire Highlands region.
this office, which was once a small provincial office, will now see status and capacity upgraded to a provincial office, equipped with systems and resources to deliver core migration services. Services such as lodgement and collection of visa, lodgement and collection of passports, lodgement and collection of work permits, enforcement of Migration Act through constant compliance and monitoring activities.
When we see expatriates here, I don't need to preach here, but when you see expatriates here, they come into the country through Immigration Department, and that's the only gateway. So Immigration Department is the gateway for all foreigners to come into the country as tourists, or as relatives, or as workers, or missionaries. So the department plays a very important role in the country.
The Highlands region of Papua New Guinea has some of the key resource projects of the country operating in various parts of it. And with this comes increased business investment. Western Highlands Province Governor Pius Wingti says there is increased business activity in the province, and with this also comes increased population and in business investment.
So that means more Papua New Guineans coming in a system where the government runs properly, integrity, transparency, no nepotism, no corruption. Every Papua New Guinea want to go and work there. So like here you blow him choice here, and right choice. So Minister like talk. You come from here, but you didn't make the decision because you come from here. I think you look at the national point of view, and make him this decision. Let me right decision, you make him level province, amamas long, mina koi mitla amamas long.
The new Highlands Regional Immigration Office will offer products and services such as PNG passport and other travel documents, all visa products including online e-visas, dual and naturalized citizenship, and compliance and enforcement.
But we have two methods of payments that we have established. One is through the Air Force machines that are going to be established and set up here. So you don't need to go to the bank, you don't even need to go to the provincial treasury office to pay. Just come with your Visa card or Save card. We don't accept cash payment. Everything is done electronically with your card. We also have a Mika account. It's an online payment gateway. Officers will shortly put up the notice as well, so you can sit in the comfort of your house or your office, those who have access to internet, to do online payment for the services.
Dennis Sorcery, National EMTV News.
PNG National Party, which currently has only 2 members in Parliament, staged its fundraising dinner last night. Party Parliamentary leader Karen Gakua says the funds raised will be used to support its intending candidates in the coming elections. The event was also attended by Prime Minister James Marape.
The Papua New Guinea National Party hosted a fundraising dinner last night in preparation towards the coming national general elections.
We give gratitude to our forefathers, to all
PNG National Party Parliamentary leader Karen Gakua was overwhelmed with the number of people who turned up last night.
And tonight, I'm truly floored. I'm really, really floored. When I see the numbers in attendance tonight, serious numbers.
With economic development being one of its core policies, the parliamentary party leader highlighted the negative economic impacts of COVID-19. He thanked those in attendance for their support.
Despite all the problems we have, it is important to keep the core functions of democracy moving. Whether we are in a healthy or unhealthy condition, economically or otherwise.
Also present was Prime Minister James Marape. Marape says PNG National Party may emerge as one of the strong performers of the 2022 national elections.
If you want to be movers and shakers of this country's public policy and politics, number must be on your side. Number must be on your side. Politics is no place for paper pushers.
Prime Minister James Marape emphasized on the country's lead policy contribution, and he says PNG National Party could claim the position.
Leadership of our country doesn't belong to one person, one group, one ethnicity, one party. It belongs to everyone. And from our front, I want to put a great challenge to all support of National Party. Karen Gakua is no ordinary man. He's a strong leader, in fact, one of the best we have in the current parliament.
The event was hosted at the Stanley Hotel and Suites with entertainment from local musician Esther Pacifica. Podivai National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. When we return, views from non-government organizations on the efforts of combating sorcery accusation-related violence. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. In this week's A Closer Look, we take a look at sorcery accusation-related violence and how it is being addressed by relevant authorities. While there is various consultation to address sorcery accusation-related violence, are the authorities doing enough to coordinate enforcement? Kilawani brings us through a timeline of the issue.
Kepari Leniata, 2013. Stripped, tortured, and burnt alive in front of hundreds in broad daylight. Pictures taken and posted on social media. 9 years to date, her killers still roam free. No justice served. 2017. Kepari's daughter, 6-year-old daughter, tortured in anger for a week, blamed for the sickness of another person. 8 months ago, yet another victim of sorcery-related accusation violence. Mary Kopari, 30 years old, both hands and legs tied to logs, tortured and burnt alive in Hela province. 4 weeks ago, Kagua, Southern Highlands province, women tied to poles, stripped naked and brutally tortured. 2 weeks ago in the country's capital city, Port Moresby.
So we want to trango mama picking married long and me piano me come to sol. Tambo long and me plus sleep 1 house stop now and tanem back now. I walk in breeze here. Try play up in them. Me. I'm talking them the fight. Me walk simply I lower and me time was him. Me come now. I you make money. Hey, me go and lost and mix my lower and me put you was a night long and look at me. Oh, and really something I don't like losing me. I'll be mine and working.
We had a call from someone in Morata that the community is trying to mobilize to violent women whom they accused that who was engaged in sorcery. And luckily the police arrived at the scene on time and the woman was taken to Waigani police station. 2 weeks ago, we received a call from 2 Mile Hill. We didn't turn up, the police didn't turn up on time, the woman was brutalized.
All these reported cases, not one single perpetrator against the victims of sorcery accusations-related violence has been brought before the law. No justice to date. While the law doesn't seem to bite, almost 1,000 sorcery-related incidents occur right across Papua New Guinea every year that go unreported.
Plenty. One. Me bla estimate of 500 to 700 lo one bla year. Plenty you know harem. Plenty you harem behind time. But you think about prosecuting one bla lo display. You think him display marry all lo hella last year. Stop law front page law newspaper. You think him? Okay, who's that or prosecuting law this law case? Now stop October. October or November. Now it come law January. You think all walking one blah arrest? No gat. Mi blah mauswara.
Since 2014, there has been as many as 40 plus cases of SARV in the Enga province as per our record from the Diocese of Wabek. Many of the victims are poor, defenseless women, and in some cases, sadly, involve children.
The National Research Institute conducted a study on sorcery accusation-related violence in the country, focused on the role of glassman or glassmeri as catalysts of accusations and violence. In the study, the talk piece in words glassman or glassmeri can be roughly translated in English as diviner, and their role in context of a widespread worldview in which sickness is strongly associated with the spiritual world. The study found that glassman glassmeri were associated with SARV in all areas of Papua New Guinea where the research was conducted, concluding that glassman and glassmeri play a significant role in catalyzing violent responses to suspicions of sorcery.
All that's also creating more problem. Can you say Kagua case? All tubla birua side glassman iko suti bel lo disla narabla side na, and then disla side make him sangomalo disla man so disla maninda.
Na lo leader too. Stop law parliament, stop law police, and heavy blong all too. So you must peel him this la pain blong all Mary, you must look savel or this la something all walk him, then you must stop him na all glass man, na glass Mary, or all enemy blow you me. All giaman line. In me no one outside line na me no clear or get this or something na me talk nothing. And all giaman line all walk him, now all walk law kiss him, all lick superstitions belong all line, now all belief law sorcery, now walk law tanim, law some all can kiss him money, law kiss him money all must bagarap him body blow one blah. Na lick bagarap him dry pla bagarap or some one blah or some one blah kind terrorist or kind of some.
Kepari Leniata's story drew international pressure on the then government in 2013, eventually repealing the 1971 outdated Sorcery Act. This created a new provision under the Criminal Code Act of 1974 that provides an intentional killing of another person on account of accusations that the person is practicing sorcery is guilty of willful murder. In 2016, it was recognized that this legislation amendment alone could not solve the sorcery problem. Hence, the development of a national plan with 5 key strategies in 2016. To date, first responders, non-government organizations like Tribal Foundation and many human rights defenders say these legislations, national plans and strategies have failed miserably in addressing the sorcery-related issue.
So you asking me, suppose only working enough? I'm all play nothing. All me like show him all, oh, you look him this video, or cut him this Mary, put him iron, say, no, me less look, me less look. Okay, why now you know walk him and stop him? No, me play hold him for him. All glass money no say go for him. All stop lo bush. You like stop him, okay, you go lo bush now, you hold him all na rousing and put him lo calabush. Emba stop him.
Salve has not been stamped out, despite all the work that churches have done and are doing, and resources that have been pumped into SAV by NGO groups, development partners, government agencies and departments, notably the Departments of Justice and Attorney General, Community Development and Religion, and Constitutional and Law Reform Commission to sensitize communities. Sadly, sorcery accusation-related violence is prevalent in the Highlands region, with almost all victims being women and girls.
In May of 2021, a special parliamentary committee on gender-based violence convened in a 3-day inquiry. The inquiry found that there was lack of support, funding and coordination from the government to adequately respond. Police Minister William Onglo and Police Commissioner David Manning told the inquiry that the police force could not keep women and children safe. The enforcement agency is understaffed and under-resourced.
Presence of plenty police, one thing is making difference. Om man looking most plenty police staff, cut down the bigot law. Na all this la. Or looking most plenty no staff. Mi pla sa Southwind ya, mi pla go lo side, mi pla go lo upside. District to big pla district straight. Logistic to mi pla down no kita. Mi pla kat one pla car tasol. Car to need him service. Na no condition flow mi pla karem go lo all last corner of district. Na mi pla no got police station commander for 4 years now.
In Kagura district alone in the Southern Highlands province, the police station has only 5 police personnel serving. The district is known to have about 90,000 population. This means 1 policeman is to 18,000 people. While the disparity of police to population ratio is one of the worst in the region, the struggles of the first responders on the ground are just as bad.
Time all talk sanguma na only fighting all, only cooking all, only medarim all na all pulling all dragging all road na all sagai na mi play sampla mi play no filling maslo. This like an passing or making. So time mi play no bini got save house but time mi looking this la. I mi been start building la boost material house damlo na all now it am all sleep la house am go on pla Haiti na house am bagra finish.
Me play work volunteer. So me say lo on pocket blow me bring him all narapla kamante me lo narapla location to location. Suppose lo mendita sol also me look him in lo mendit sol. Come up lo all kita hap lo district. So time one play cry also lo Yalibu staff or Pangia staff me hat lo ignore him. So what me do? Me find him on one kina two kina blow me, kalablo bus, go to that location, report him meta kolo police suppose so sorry.
So much money is pumped into infrastructure development and so many laws are being passed in Parliament, but enforcement is lacking.
We are one of the most over-legislated countries in the Pacific. We've got so many laws, but like I said, the Sorcery Act was repealed. Everything is now packed under the criminal code. So it's a criminal offense to even accuse. It's the enforcement bit that is very lacking in this country. The holdup is with the enforcement agencies. Prime example, yesterday I found out that a little girl back in July of last year that was very badly tortured by a stepmom, on SARV accusations, was set free by the police prosecutor. So now it actually goes back to the law enforcement agencies. Now, this is a clear-cut case. Why are we setting and allowing people to go free?
I think with most things, often the work is done theoretically, but the implementation becomes the forefront. So I would think that the best way is to use those people who are genuinely doing this work on the ground, not an NGO that suddenly pops off because they hear there's some money around. You need to have the ones, identify the ones that have been doing this on the ground of their own and doing it well, and perhaps use them as the implementers. A very difficult thing for a bureaucrat to implement, actually, this type of work.
Well, we need to do something about this. We've spoken up against this on many occasions. We've condemned it, we've expressed outrage, and then we've gone about back to our roles and responsibilities. We've gone back to delivering classrooms and ribbon cutting and groundbreaking ceremonies, and we've forgotten that we can't just talk about things like this, these horrible acts of inhumanity that are perpetrated often against the most vulnerable in our society, women, but now even children and the elderly. We have to do more than just talk about this. And the buck stops right at the top. Those of us who have been elected into Parliament. We have to do something about this.
According to World Human Rights Watch, a woman is beaten every 30 seconds in Papua New Guinea. 1.5 million people experience gender-based violence in the country each year. It is clear to see that many factors are missing when it comes to addressing the issue on sorcery accusations-related violence. It must take a holistic and systematic approach. It will take leadership at community level. It will take education to break down cultural beliefs, and it will take religion. The government must act on its part to fund, reinforce, and empower the relevant enforcement agencies to address the issue.
More stories when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Sunday's news. The Central Provincial Government donated a truckload of garden food worth 35,000 kina to the Port Moresby General Hospital yesterday. The gesture is an initiative of the group Women in Agriculture in the Cloudy Bay LLG of Abao District, Central Province.
Women participating in agriculture in the Cloudy Bay area of Abao District in Central Province donated food from their district to the Port Moresby General Hospital yesterday. The Provincial Administrator of Central Province, Francis Coaba, and his team presented the 35,000 kina worth garden food to Port Moresby General Hospital's Director of Medical Services, Dr. Kone Sobi, and his staff. Dr. Sobi acknowledged the donation, saying it was a first of its kind for the hospital to be receiving large amounts of garden food from villagers in Central Province.
It's a huge donation, and it's timely because during COVID surge we are providing food for not only for the patients but for our staff who are also caring for the patients. You know, it's a very strenuous, very stressful situation for not only for the public but for our staff as well. Surges in the city, we are grateful for business houses, communities, individuals and groups, church groups who have donated food, all other amenities, like.
Mata Baha, woman representative from the Abao district, says they are satisfied knowing that their hard work in agriculture has been for a worthy cause. Joy Olali, National EMTV News.
Under its Going Rural program, the Medang provincial government has handed 100,000 kina funding to the Saido Catholic Church. Medang Governor Peter Yama said this support follows a visit by the provincial executive members late last year. Yama said the Saido Catholic Church needed renovation since its establishment in 1964. Archbishop of Medang, Father Anton Bal, was present to receive the funding.
We have a policy of the government, core rural and center, and also we have a policy that we have a covenant with God, and all our revenue, internal revenue from the province, where we make money, we are blessed, and whatever we take from internal revenue, 1/10 go back to church. We are partnership with church to work to develop a good partnership with churches. Meaning that I give help you, I help also Lutheran church.
If it started going better, what did you do? And so that means that we locals will have to take ownership, and the government will be looking at, because your partner, we are partnering with you, the government, to deliver services. And so that is why we'll be looking to the government assistance in whatever needs and necessary to assist us providing service for our people.
While many focus on the path to autonomy, some believe decentralization of powers to provincial governments is crucial. West New Britain Governor Sasindran Mutuvel says if people are to be served instantly, the national government must decentralize powers to provinces. Governor Mutuvel said this will enable provincial governments to strategize its public service for better and proactive delivery of services to the people.
Of course, time you got district, okay.
The West New Britain governor says more can be done to revamp and roll out service delivery. He says Waigani continues to hold so much power and prohibits provincial governments to fully exercise their mandate. Governor Mutuvel wants the national government to consider this.
Some sectors, we are purely at the mercy of national agencies. You talk about national roads, we are purely at the mercy of Department of Works. You talk about health, we are purely at the mercy of National Department of Health. You talk about law and order, we are purely at the mercy of police department and CAS.
Speaking more on that, Governor Mutuvel says though many provinces want autonomy, he believes the autonomous region of Bougainville is one of a special matter. He said a special consideration has been given to Arab, but says the government must look at options to improve the working dialogue with other provinces.
For example, West New Britain, we are good at agriculture and tourism, whereas the province with oil and gas, they have a different economy, we have a different economy. So what works in that province will not work for us in West New Britain. So the only way I feel is this is the right time where we really need to understand, and we should give the powers to, I don't want to use the word autonomy, but decentralize those powers, reduce those centralized powers in Waigani, and give the powers to provincial government, local level government, even to the lowest government. Give them the power, give them the resources, and we see the difference, how things will develop.
Concluding his statement, the West New Britain governor says the recent floods in Talasia is a good example where the province has to wait for the National Disaster Office to coordinate efforts and draw down funds to assist the affected communities. He says the slow coordination and action by Waigani is not helpful while people bear the consequence of slow and poor government structure. Mutuvel says other sectors are also affected.
It is my personal view, without giving the powers to provincial government, we will never develop, we will never become a developed country in PNG, because the more we delay, the more damage and destruction we will do when we continue to control everything sitting in Waigani and only few people sit there and continue. What happened to IFMS system? To date, we are suffering. We are writing thousands of manual checks. How do we monitor writing all these manual checks with Excel sheet when we had a perfectly operating system called PIGAS, Provincial Government Accounting System? So when that system failed, why are we not allowed to use that system whereby at least every expenses are recorded properly by the system rather than you writing a manual check, which is very, very risky.
Jack Lopawa Jr., National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. Trukai Sports is next. Stay tuned for more details.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Papua New Guinea Football Association executives say they have faced a lot of criticism on player selection and coaches' appointment, especially on social media. PNGFA President John Capinato says PNGFA is making choices for the best interest of the men's national team.
We were facing a lot of challenges. One is the publicity, negativity. One is the pandemic challenges, and two is getting the coaches in. So we had to focus on the national team, because the national team is the team that will represent us.
We have a lot of critics on Facebook and all kinds of comments to our coaches that FA brings. Sometimes we don't understand the integrity of a person before we make comments. I think we've got to really understand and respect the integrity of coaches that FA brings. He spent the last, when he left PNG, in Iran and Iraq football. You look where Iran and Iraq is now today compared to Asia. That's where this man spent his time. That's why we've got to be careful when we talk about coaches and what FA brings.
Organized and supported by one of the largest clans on Fisherman Island, the Pokhanawan Volleyball competition is playing its part in promoting and maintaining interest in the code at the community level.
The residents of Fisherman's Island off the coast of Port Moresby have banded together to participate in a volleyball tournament hosted by one of the largest clans in the community. The Pokhanawan volleyball tournament involves both men's and women's teams made up of locals, with the aim to identify any talented prospects, along with the wider engagement of the community in social activities.
So this year, we came, this is our second year, and last year we had 8 teams. This year, 12 teams for men and 9 teams for women. Coming towards this year, because the interest was, growing. Last year we put a law that we allowed only 1 open players, outsiders, to come in and participate. This year we allowed 2. Okay, after within those 2 we allowed at least 1 AMOA rep, recent, current rep or former rep to come in and then come into 1-1 clubs, teams to participate just to boost our voice. So that's the main concept about our tournament.
With Fisherman's Island already having produced national volleyball representatives, support from prominent figures within the code has been forthcoming. This has gone a long way in contributing to the success of the competition.
Oh, actually, we've got 2 AMOA players in our village, and we are Pokhanawan, they are from Pokhana too, the extended family. So these 2 brothers, they are Eric Itama and Robin Itama. They are our island AMOA boys. So I was part and parcel of their grooming. We had to play together from those games, and then they were selected to rep the country. And we are this family, Pokhanawan 2, we are very fortunate to have our own bloods, representing the country.
Huxley Lovai, Trukai Sports.
That report ends Trukai Sports, the weather forecast after the break.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, Port Moresby, Daru and Kerema, partly cloudy with evening showers. Alotau and Popondetta, cloudy periods with some showers and possible thunderstorms. Over to the Momase region, Ley and Medang, mostly cloudy with evening showers or 2. Wewak and Vanimo, cloudy with chances of a few showers. Across to the New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, KV and Kokopo and Rabaul, partly cloudy with possible showers. Kimbe, cloudy with some rain showers. Buka, partly cloudy with rain showers and possible thunderstorms. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, cloudy with some thundery showers. Goroka and Kundiawa, few showers with possible thunderstorms, then cloudy. Mendi and Wabeg, rain showers and thunderstorms, then cloudy.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
That's been the news, sports and weather for Sunday, the 30th of January 2022. On behalf of the news team, be safe. Bye-bye.